Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your girl, Wicked Raider 22. Just doing a random video, kind of getting ready for the next CVC, which actually starts on tomorrow. And I'll have a video posted, kind of keeping up with progress, a little strategy involved since we're hitting the personal rewards level. But this is something that came to mind as I started working through this particular account. One thing that I've done before is I will start a free-to-play account, end up pulling your first legendary. You start maxing out, of course, your first champion. Everything is rolling. And normally, and I cannot be the only one who does this, you end up pulling a random shard and get a champion of a lifetime. For one of my accounts most recently, I randomly just pulled a shard just because, and I ended up getting Deacon Armstrong. I was so excited. The same has been true for Snick Track. The same has been true for Pharsalis. And honestly, I'll just throw it out there. One of my other favorite rares that I pulled so far has been Painkeeper as well. But you pull a champion, you get excited, you run them through campaign, you drop on the best gear your account may have at the time, and you start pushing forward. And then slowly you hit dungeons, you hit keeps, and something you have not done, something you aren't doing is you're not pushing through campaign and finishing it out. And it's not until I hit a tournament, an event, or even CVC that I go back in and I start to realize, oh my gosh, I have not 3-starred this particular level of campaign, or I have one account that I think is one of my luckiest, and I'm probably going to do just a solo video. It's one of the luckiest free-to-play accounts that I have. And some of my best champions are there. I pull them. But guys, when I tell you, I literally have them in some of the weakest gear ever because I stopped campaign farming on that account and jumped straight into, all right, I'm going to push as hard as I can for Minotaur so I can go back, get masteries, and I'm just going to start powering through whenever something pops up. Worst game strategy of all. And what I'm finding myself doing now is going back, hitting campaign really hard, because one thing I want to do is push all my accounts to Nightmare. Now, for the first of the year, I will be trimming it down. I was up to, actually, free to play, I was up to 7 free-to-play accounts. Like, I definitely want to go in, and each account has a different philosophy, a different strategy behind it. And I'll probably go in and kind of show you guys what I've done so far and the differences that I can tell based on the strategic approach to each account. And I'm going to trim that down to, I hope, 3 of those accounts, because I definitely want to start a fresh free-to-play 2023 and kind of see, you know, how all those things, those lessons I've learned over the last couple of weeks have played out. One of those accounts, though, hands down, will not be discontinued. It is by far, I'm starting to think I'm enjoying it a little bit more than my pay-to-play accounts, which I probably 95% of the time only use my pay-to-play account on mobile. So that is my walking around. What am I doing on my phone? Probably 80%, 90% of the time, if there is something playing in the background, it's going to be Raid Shadow Legends. Campaign can be really important. We know that there are certain levels that will offer you some interesting and extremely helpful champions. We always hear about War Maiden. You hear about Shield Guard. We've seen, like, even with Eris, you know, I'm just thinking about Berserk is another one. All of those champions that, depending on where you are and what your team needs, can be really important. But I also understand that for a lot of players, having to farm through campaign can become extremely redundant. If you are free to play, knowing how and when to use those multi-battles is a big one. Most of us, I think, we're getting somewhere between 30 to 40 multi-battles per day. And what I've started doing is I use half of those to run in potion keeps or dungeons, and that's going to be their main purpose. I use the other half to run my champions through campaign itself. And this is another one. Just some, guys, I have pulled some awesomeness, and these two fall kind of into that category. Really excited to see what some of my Sylvan Watchers can do, because I looked up on the account and pulled them most recently. And my goal was to save all of my shards into Clan Be Clan. Even though it's not a huge amount of points, it has become a really good strategy for me to save chests, run through Faction Crypt, and to have those rewards available, open my major shards, especially when you have that enhanced, chance of pulling either one of your epic champions or even a legendary champion. You can start out easily 4, 5, 6,000 points in, and that's what really helped push my clan. This previous CVC is every account that I was running, it was the first thing I would do is go in and load off those shards. The other thing is, the day before CVC starts, I'm really selective as to how I use my multi-battles. It's nice to leave 20 to 25 multi-battles there. You're going to wake up and get the new surgeons. So you are starting anywhere from 60 to 70, plus multi-battles. And all of those can be ran to go ahead and boost those champions that you just pull. It's been a game changer. I've also noticed that the 2 weeks in between each CVC, I find myself a lot more focused on which tournaments I'm going into. And those also allow me to figure out, do I want to fully master this champion, or what order would I like to go in for those? All of those will kind of play a part. Now, I got a comment on the last video, and it was asking, do you still use your starting champion? And I was like, oh, that's a good one, because it really and truly depends on which account I've ended up using. And I'm going to make a whole video on that one. So just don't forget, even though we have a lot coming your way between now and the end of the year, keep pushing through campaign. Just know that brutal is really important when it comes to campaign farming. If nothing else, try to get to 12.3, 12.7, that end stage when you're thinking about campaign farming. So at least push to that point. And when you start pushing toward Nightmare, a couple of levels or stages at a time will really make a difference, especially when there's really nothing else you may be able to do as far as certain dungeons. I know you guys are gearing up. It's a good day, a good week to get some nice little raiding done, and we'll see how it goes. I'll definitely update you on clan progress, give a little strategy once things get started, break down the map, and hey, we'll look into that one as well. As always, if you haven't joined a clan yet, we have some openings. So the name hashtag is definitely listed in the description box. That's not coming out, but 22WK, go ahead and join us. We would love to have you. Definitely trying to stay active. I think we're sitting at like 24 members, so we have 6, maybe 7 slots available, and would love for everybody to kind of jump in and make it happen. Guys, happy rating. Don't forget to subscribe if you've made it this far, and I'll talk to you soon.